the Elite Force hater. Let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you've probably already watched about 12 others on this thing, and this is not a review or an unboxing, but I've unboxed it and I'm going to do a very quick review. And then we'll get onto the Gucci stuff I'm going to do to this thing. Look at it. Yes, I've already taken this thing out of the box. Yes, I've already shot it. Yes, I've already had a play with it. But, you know, it's fun to start a YouTube video pretending like it's the first time I've seen it. Oh, look at it. Ooh. Inside the box, you get a gun, you get some manuals, and you get... somewhere. Where's the other one gone? You get some cookies. These are the magazines. Each one holds 10 rounds, and as you can see, they are not the size of the cylinder of the gun. It's just this end section here. Now, annoyingly, as time's gone on, you seem to get less and less of these when you buy it. I've definitely seen videos where people were getting the Gen 1 and they got 5 of these, but mine only came with 3. And these are dirt cheap. In fact, you can even get 3D prints for them. But yeah, that's what you get in the box. Now, to unload this thing, you pull this catch back and up, and then you push out from this side. And out comes your cookie. As you can see, this is the only part of the gun that actually comes out, and it's held in place if I release the latch, just by that bolt there. Just in there is a little tooth that when you pull the trigger flicks upwards, and that latches onto this ratchet system to rotate like that. There is a safety located behind the hammer here, which you just flick back in order to fire. Now I will warn you, there is already gas in here because like I say, I've already taken it out to shoot, but this thing has a 2-stage trigger, meaning you can either cock it back and then have a really sensitive hairline trigger, or without touching the hammer at all, it'll come back on its own. Just means you've got a longer pull. Now the gas is CO2 and is located in the back of the handle here. There you go. So all you do is you pop your gas in, tighten this screw down with a hex key, and a nice feature of this is the hex key actually comes installed in the handle. So once you've popped your gas in, you can do it on the field if you need to, so you can run around with a couple of spare. And that's a pretty nice feature. I like stuff like that where they've actually thought of usability. And to pop the handle back in, there's a little semicircle up here which correlates to this little lip here. Put that in first, and then it just clicks in place, and you're good to go. And that is the gun. Really, really simple, and actually, extremely well priced. I paid around £70 for this. And even though it's full polymer, it feels beefy. Like, look at this thing, it's a hand cannon. I really like the look of it. And the thing is, I'm not the only one, because the hater has a bit of a cult following. People really like this gun. And whilst I've yet to field it, because it did literally arrive a couple of hours ago, I'm really looking forward to trying it. It just feels good. But this is bang average airsoft, and I can't just leave shit alone. I have to tinker. So I want to do 2 modifications to this gun. First off, as I've mentioned in other videos, I use a Novridge open holster system, which is the universal holster. And it uses these. Now, this is my leg holster, and attached to the bottom is the other half of the Novridge universal. The way it works is this part here clips onto your gun, and then it just clicks in place. And that is solid as a rock. And to release it, push that in, off it slides. Oops. God, I'm a butterfingers today. And Novridge being Novridge, they don't like these to be compatible with any gun other than their own. So annoyingly, these 2 screws here are inconsistent with pretty much any Picatinny rail. Do you see how those 2 screws don't quite match up with the holes? It's a really naughty little trick, but it's very easy to fix. So all I have to do, really, is file one of these down slightly, make it narrower. And that will allow me to attach this. I know that because I've done it on my Vorsk pistol. Same thing down here, I just had to file away a bit of the Picatinny just to make it fit. So screw you, Novridge, limit me, and I will find workarounds. However, something that's not Novridge's fault is I want to mount this on the top, somewhere around there. And the problem is, can you see? The fake cylinder sticks out so far that this will not fit. And that's annoying, and I don't like being limited. And this is going to be controversial, because my plan is, I'm just going to grind away part of this cylinder to make it flat. Now, obviously, whilst I can grind away the fake part, this bit needs to remain round. And if I once again grab my belt, I feel like this is going to be really tricky to show you. But, let me grab this, chuck that where I want it there. Now, bear in mind again that this is obviously sticking out at a weird angle. But, what I'm thinking is when I slide that in, and it clips in place, can you see how from the top, that doesn't interfere with the cookie? It sticks out far enough, I think, that it shouldn't affect this from going in the holster. So yes, it will affect the look of the gun, and some people are not going to like this, and frankly, I do get it, I empathise. But this is for usability, and the holsters you can get for these things are huge and bulky, and I don't like them. And I've already got a system, so why would I not adapt this to work to my means? So, first things first, I'm going to go straight to my belt grinder outside, and I'm going to shave this side down. I decided the mill was the better tool of choice for this. Can be a lot more accurate with this thing, and I don't need to take out as much as I originally thought I would. So before tidy up, I've got it to here, which if I put this in place, you'll see fits really rather nicely. It doesn't matter that obviously you can see through the gun, because that's going to be hidden. However, I think I might need to take it back a little more, because I don't know... Oh, hang on, I need to change grip. I think I might also need to take the high spot off underneath this part here, because when this is in place... Oh, this is hard to film one-handed. I don't know whether that will allow enough room for the holster to slide through. So I'm just going to nip that side off as well. Hopefully it won't create a big ugly gap, but if it does, unavoidable, and realistically, you're probably not going to notice. I am now just filing in this groove here for the extra rung for this piece. If that makes sense. I don't know if you're going to be able to see how well it lines up, but there we go, something like that. So I'm going to take this bit down, and then I'm going to slightly have to dig in here just to extend the Picatinny very slightly. And yeah, I think then we should hopefully be good. Oh, I want to cry. I was just extending the Picatinny slightly, and this thing slipped in the mill chuck, and now I've got a big gash sticking out of it. Superficial only, the gun will work fine, but oh, that's so annoying. This thing was looking really clean otherwise. God damn it. Alrighty, after a bit of finagling with the mill and then going over it with some needle files, this is where I'm up to. Granted, it is not the prettiest thing. I have tried to tidy up this slip as best I can, but I will never not be angry about that. But to be fair, once this thing is put in place, it doesn't look too bad. I had to actually mill out a little bit more at the back here than I realised, because obviously the clip actually goes in slightly past this point. So I'm sort of stuck with that. I might just put like a bit of black electrical tape or something over the top of that to make it a bit less obvious. But overall, I am actually happy with how that came out. Hopefully that should now clip on nicely. Perfect. That works really good. Hee hee. Alrighty, so that is fix number 1. Done. The second thing I want to do is I want to have a tracer on the end of this thing. Now annoyingly, the barrel this thing comes with is not threaded, but you can 3D print your own barrel insert, which requires disassembling the gun. Oh, that was my belly rumbling. Oh my god. But you can get your own 3D printed barrel insert, which requires taking apart the gun, removing this tip piece, and replacing it with one that has a thread. That'll be what the belly rumbles were. Now, I do have a 3D printer that's resin, but from previous experience, it's not the strongest stuff in the world, so I've actually bought one that's metal that somebody else is 3D printing. And then for the tracer, I have bought one of the new Ace-Tech Quadras. I feel like this on the end of here actually looks pretty alright, and it's probably the best tracer for this gun that you can find. The other option, realistically, for pistols is the Brighter C, which just looks like a mini suppressor, and I just feel like that looks a little bit odd stuck out the end of the gun. So even though this doesn't match perfectly, I think it's probably the best we're going to get. And I actually do think it looks alright. But it hasn't arrived yet, so once it does is when I will continue this video. So see you then. Alright, so a couple of days have passed and the 3D printed part hasn't arrived yet. I don't really expect it to arrive anytime soon because I think it's coming from somewhere in Europe. But I'm impatient and I'm bored, so I've been 3D printing. I have printed 3 different sizes of the adapter. These have been printed in tough resin. One is at 100%, one is 98% scale, and one is 95% scale, just because sometimes the threads don't fit perfectly. I don't think these are going to hold up particularly well, but for the purpose of this video, you'll get the idea, and it'll probably last a game or two, so What I have been doing off camera, though, is I've been giving this thing a custom paint job, which I was gonna surprise you with, but I sort of can't now. I'm only halfway done, so bear with me. Right, this is the side that, as of yet, I've just put some Hammerite paint on, and that's come out looking pretty damn nice, if you ask me. But the style I wanted to go for was a kind of comic book 2D... I don't really want to use the word anime, because that'll probably bring all the weebs out of hiding. Kind of like a Borderlands style. And this is what I've come up with so far. I'm going to be honest, I actually think looks kind of cool. But yeah, let me disassemble this thing off camera and put in one of these replacement nozzle pieces, and then I'll finish the paint job off camera, and I'll show you when it's done. There we go. And usefully, the end of the barrel here has decided to self-eject. Very handy. This spring has also decided to self-eject. That goes back in there. There we go. I've obviously also painted the tracer on. Now it's just deciding which one of these fits best. There you go. 95 seems to fit pretty nice, so we'll go with that. So, this piece should, hopefully, just fit over the end of the barrel there. Just obviously make sure the spring is in place. I may need to bore this hole out a little bit wider for it to fit over the end of the barrel, but we'll see. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit, unfortunately. That's fine, I'll go and get a drill bit and we'll bore that out slightly. Alright, that took a little bit of fiddling about with some sandpaper and just sort of whizzing it around inside the bore just to smooth it off. But we've now got a nice tight fit in there. And hopefully, when the metal piece arrives, it'll be even better. Like I say, this is temporary just to show you. But let's reassemble it. In the very tip here, can you see that there's a little cutout space just there for this square piece to slot inside of? That's where that needs to go, just like that. Then we make sure it's lined up with our hop unit. It seems to be. Okay, there you go. There it is installed. Easy as that. Now, let's get this back together. Alright, there we go. Let's make sure this thing still fires fine, which it does. And now, let's see if we can fit the tracer on. Nice. Do you know what? I'm going to toot my own horn a bit, but I actually think that looks pretty damn good. Oh, while I'm at it, the adapter wasn't the only thing I 3D printed for this. Let me show you. I also 3D printed another cookie. You can tell it's slightly different from the OG one, but it came out pretty darn nice. And then the other thing I 3D printed, which I think will come in extremely handy, is this, which is a magazine holster. Inside, you've got this spring guide, which just fits in the bottom, and then this piece fits over the top. There will be a spring that fits in here once it arrives. Hasn't got here yet. But that fits over the top there. And then, yeah, your cookies slide in. And then obviously, I'll have to hold this upside down. But once it's spring assisted, you can just slide out the magazines as you need them. It's a bit like a Pez dispenser. But that will fit in normal Picatinny, and I think it's actually going to work really well. But that's enough of that. Let me finish painting this thing, and I will show you the finished product. Ugh, my next door neighbour's decided to start sawing. Alright, there it is with the other side all painted up. I don't know why, but for some reason, the paint reacted. The other side came out absolutely fine. But, yeah, for some reason, didn't like it this time. But, from a distance, I think it still looks pretty good. So I'm going to let that dry, and then, yeah, it'll be done.